Hi everyone, it's Shanna. Welcome to my channel, Shanna Makes It. The other night I was just messing around with these distress inks. I had Picked Raspberry, Salvage Patina, Prize Ribbon, and Villainous Potion. And I just did some ink blending. And I thought it was kind of cute, all the different colors together. And wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I really was just kind of just relaxing and just messing around, poking around with stuff in my craft room. And as I looked at this, I thought this could be a good blended panel for this Under the Sea Magic Spellbinders kit. This is a kit that I got in I think it was a surprise box from Spellbinders. I think that's where this kit came in because this was before I actually started getting the card kits. So anyway, but it has these mermaid dies in here. And I just thought, how beautiful would those be to be cut out of this blended page that I did, I don't know, a couple nights ago. Anyway, so I thought what I would do is lay the elements of this die onto this panel that I blended and see how it works. What I'm thinking of doing with this, what I'm going to use it for, is a birthday card. I have got an upcoming birthday party for a family member, and I think this will make a cute card for that birthday. So I'm just going to lay all of these out on here, die cut them out, and just see what I come up with. So I'll take this to my die cutting machine and I will die cut these out, and we'll just see how this comes out. Okay, so I've got all my die cut pieces out, and I just took that ink blended paper that I had and I just laid all of them on there and got kind of different looks out of them. So I've got them all laying there, and I have been kind of all over the board trying to decide what I wanted to do with my card. I was thinking I might add a circle like this in the center, but then when I cut it out, I was left with this, and I thought, oh, I should make a shaker out of it. So I think that's what I've decided. I basically used this die to cut it out, and this is the section that it actually cut away, but I wanted to use this remnant that was left and make a shaker out of it because I thought that would be fun. And so then I just took this Park Lane embossing folder that had stars on it, and I actually embossed this, which will be my shaker part. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of these card bases from Spellbinders that is in the kit. This kit is an older kit, and it has 10 cards and 10 envelopes in it, so I'm going to use it. The new card clubs come with 8. And so I think I'm going to use this pattern paper here, which has kind of got the fairies on there, and it's kind of got all the colors that I used in this ink blended panel that I chose. So I'm going to cut this down and make this the background for my card base is what I'm going to do. And this goes all the way across. So I think I'm going to cut this a full 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 so that I have it. And I found these 2 pieces of ephemera that was in the kit, and I thought I could use those on there. So that's kind of where I'm headed. We'll see where this goes, but let me just grab my paper trimmer, and oh, there it is. I had it laying on my chair behind me. And then I'll just cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I want to make sure I have my pattern going in the right direction. So my card, I believe it's going to be, I'm going to do well, if I do it this way, that's interesting. So yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it like that. It'll be up and down instead of, well, anyway, it can lay and turn either way, but I'm going, well, that's why I need to know which direction I'm going to go for my panel. So do I like it like this? Let me see. Need to figure this out. Sorry, I'm a little undecisive, but I'm like, which way do I want to go with this? If I go this way, I could kind of do something like this. I think I'll do that. I'll do it that way. So we'll head in that direction. So I know if I'm going to do it that way that I need to get this piece at 5 1/2. So I will just lay that down and I will trim it. Then this next piece needs to be this way at 4 1/4. But I really want that pink on there too. So I'm going to turn it this way and cut it. And then that should give me the right size panel to lay on here and then to lay this on. And I think that'll work. So I'm going to just move this aside. And I think we'll build our card base first. Just move my camera a little bit. I'm getting some of the light glare in there. So I think that's what I'll do is I'll just build this base first and just lay this on there. So I'm going to use some tape runner for that. It'll just go quickly, and I like to use the tape runner when I can. I think if I bring my score buddy in, I'll be able to get this laid down right. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I know that I want it to open like this. So I'm just going to lay that in the corner, and then I'm going to take my paper, push it into the corner, and then put my pattern paper in the corner as well. And that will help me to line it up. So we'll have a good line. That actually did very well. So that was a good base. Sometimes the bases come in a little bit crooked, and then it doesn't line up right. But that seemed to line up pretty well. So what I'm thinking is that it'll go like this, but I want to kind of lay it out in my mind before I start adding my acetate and everything that I want to do. I'm thinking that it would be fun for these mermaids to hang over the acetate. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of lay them over like that. And then I have some other things that I can use. And I may lay some of these down on the inside of that. I think that would be kind of fun to have that on the inside. In fact, I think that's what I'll do, is I'll lay some of these things out on the inside of my shaker, and then you'll see them in there. And then my mermaids will kind of be on the outside of it. I think that'll be cute. So I cut more than what I needed here. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna want. I think I'm gonna put these two kind of together. And then, like I said, I cut more than what I needed. And some of them were kind of plain, like this one fell all in the pink. And so I'm thinking, I don't necessarily need to use that. This one was all in the purple. This one was kind of a mixture. But I'm just going to pull in some of these elements that I want to use. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. I'm going to get my pick tool so I can lift them. But I have several options here. I think that fish is kind of cute too. And we've got some of these. Let's see what all colors we've got some purple. I think that would be pretty in there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get these items glued down, and they will have to completely dry before I move on to adding my shaker and all that, because if I don't, I might get some of my shaker pieces kind of jammed up in there. So I think this is the direction that I'm moving in. So, and that probably will go. I might put some things on the outside because I think the shells probably, and see that could look really pretty on the purple. So I think I might do it that way. Yeah, okay. All right, so I have kind of an idea. I want to get this right where I want it. So I'm just going to lift this off, and I think if I can just kind of lift those things up and glue them down, and then just bring my panel back and just check it as I go. But I think that's what I need to do. Let me get my tweezers. And I'm hoping you don't hear all that noise out in the background. It is, my husband's out there rolling the yard, so it's kind of noisy. We're expected to get more storms tomorrow night, so I'm praying that we don't get bad storms. We actually had, In my last video, I talked about the fact that we were supposed to have some storms, and Gas City almost hardly ever gets hit with a tornado, but we actually had an F3 tornado, and it went through my daughter's neighborhood. In fact, the house next doors to her is completely, they'll have to bulldoze it. There's nothing, I mean, it's just, the garage is ripped off, the roof is ripped off, the windows are blown out, and then the next house next to her, their RV is flipped upside down in that neighbor's house who lost everything. And their pool was in my kids' yard, wrapped around their mailbox and in their driveway. And then the third house down had their shed thrown into their front yard from the back. My kids had some damage to their roof and then a hole in the side of their house that didn't penetrate all the way, thank heavens. And their truck was totaled. So it was pretty disastrous. They actually got evacuated from the neighborhood due to a gas leak, so they had to stay with us that evening. So I had been up, I'd been watching that Ryan Hall Y'all, and I was actually texting back and forth with my son-in-law. Just we were discussing the weather, and he was keeping an eye on it and everything. And then we kind of had finished up texting, and I was still awake. My husband was sleeping because he'd had a busy day. And our house, we're not far from them, and our house kind of did a creaking, and I heard our roof kind of make a funny sound, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then it wasn't minutes after that my daughter called and said they'd been hit. So very frightening. And so they're extremely worried now that they're predicting some additional bad weather. So it's been pretty rough. It took a while for them to get their power back on, and they actually hooked up a generator and was using it, but they're back to their power. We're having trouble with our internet. I have no internet. I haven't had internet for 2 days because everything's just kind of up in arms. So I like that. I think that's really cute, and I think I can work with it. I could probably even add, some of these. In fact, I'll do that because like I said, it's going to have to thoroughly dry before I can do anything else. So I'm going to add, I was thinking of adding some of these bubbles in there, but with actually having that's too much. Oh no, maybe not. Having my shakers, that will might seem a little bubbly. So I'm just looking to see what I think I'll put this up there and add some blue, and I think that'll be good. So I'm gonna lay this aside and let it dry, and then I'll come back to it and I'll build my shaker base while I'm trying to let that dry, and we'll just see how that goes. Okay, so I've got my panel here, and for my shaker base, my shaker, I don't buy acetate. I just use from the packages of stuff that I get. All of this craft stuff comes in that plastic like that, and you can easily reuse that for a shaker card, and that's what I do. You can call me a cheapskate or whatever, but it's just a lot more cost effective to do that, and it works just fine. And I actually have one of my bins that every time I get a stamp or die or something that comes in that plastic, I put it right in that bin, and so I've got a whole bunch of it that I can use for my shaker cards. So that's what I do. And I'm just using this double-sided tape to lay that acetate on, is what I'm doing. I need some scissors that aren't my good ones that I can use for stickiness. Just snip that off. All right, and I'm going to use this tool to lift it up because I have trouble doing that. Plus, I just got my nails done, so I want to keep them nice. Actually got my nails done and my toenails done. I got a pedicure and I got a spray tan, and I'm feeling much better about myself. Been cooped up all winter and just needed a refresh. Okay, so there's that, and then I've got this piece that I'm going to lay here. I'm just going to very carefully lay it down on that adhesive. And if I have to trim a little bit, I will. It looks like I might have to trim just a little bit right there. There's not much. So there's that. Okay. So there is that. So what I will need to do next is use some foam tape. I'm trying to see what these sides are really narrow. So I'm gonna have to actually cut. Oh no, I'm not. I forgot that I have this from scrapbook.com that I could use, and it's real narrow. So I'm going to use it, and I think what I'm going to do, because it is pretty thin, is I'm just going to double it up. So I'm going to lay it right here on the edge, get it on there nice and neat, and I'm just going to double it up so that I'll have double the height for it. I think that'll work out well for me. Oh, I got it kind of warped a little bit. I think it'll straighten out once I lay it down. And I may have gotten a little close to the edge. I think it'll be all right. Okay. So I'll just lay this piece back down so I can reuse that. That's a small piece, maybe. Sticky came off of it, so I'm going to stick to my fingers. I'll just use it for something on this card. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull another piece off and do the same thing. I'm going to come out a little bit on that side. And I've got to make sure they completely touch because you want to create a gate for your shaker. In my case, it's going to be sequins, I think. I've got some blue sequins that I can use. And that's what I'm going to use. So hopefully this is going to work out all right. Oops, I'm going to need two pieces anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them both off. Okay. Probably what I should do is stick them together first. This is the best way to do it. Stick them together first and then remove that backing to there. That'll leave that side covered. Cut that away. That was a much better way of doing it. I think that's going to work to my advantage too, because then I can fill it and then close it off is what I can do. I hope I'm doing this in frame. I think I wasn't doing that in frame. So this is what I was doing. I don't know if I was in frame or not. I'm not paying attention to the camera. So I'm going to do it like that. And then I know this one's going to have to be shorter. I'm going to start it right here. And I'll cut it off here. And I hope that doesn't bow when I go to lay it down. Boy, that's sticky. It's not wanting to. I think it'll be all right there. Okay. So that's what I've got. So this one's covered and then that one's covered. And you can kind of do it like that. Okay. Now this looks like it's dry. So I think we're all right. So now what I need to do is, and I think what I'm going to do is, because I have two sides that are, I need to remember which way it's going. Is it going this way or this way? It's going this way. Okay, so I have two sides that are sticky, the bottom and this side. And I'm just going to try and get them lined up. I need to go over a little bit, I think. I want to get it lined up like that. And then I think what I can do is I can lift and pour my shaker in and then pull these tabs off and lay it down. and that way I don't have a mess. I think I like that. Okay, let me grab some sequins. Okay, so I've got my sequins. I just have this blue, and I think that'll look okay in there because I've kind of got like teal and blue and purple and all different. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to sprinkle it in behind there. And hopefully it'll work out just fine. I'm going to put the whole bag in there, I think. It's a pretty big area. Oh, I think I'm going to like that. I think that's going to be really pretty. Let's see how much we got. Oh, I think we have plenty. I don't need that whole bag. Okay. So I think that's going to look really pretty. And so what I had planned to do was just to pull off what I had left in there and pull that off so that I can just seal that off and tuck it down. So now we've got our shaker, and we've got our little fish and our little seaweed and our starfish and our seahorse, and all that is inside there. So I think that looks cute. And then my plan was that I was going to put my mermaids over this on the outside somehow. Just need to figure out how I want to do it. Maybe like that. And I did have an enchanted birthday that I wanted to put on there. So I need to figure out how to do that. Maybe like that. I don't know if I can use both of them and have all of that. That's really pretty. Maybe I can. I think I could do that, and then I'd still have some room to maybe add. Yeah, I think that'll work. However, these are just single layered, so I'm going to take and cut out some more of these so that I can layer them up and make them a little bit firmer so that they'll be a little bit more substantial for my card. So I'm going to go off camera and do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I did go and die cut 2 more of each out, and I've already layered them up. And normally I would use white paper for that, but I had this blue, and I thought since they're going to be on top and on the outside, I kind of wanted it to have this similar color scheme as what the original had. So I went ahead and used some blue, and I thought that way if you looked at it from the side, you would see blue. You wouldn't see a white edge. So that's why I went ahead and did that. So I'm just gluing it down, getting it all lined up, pushing it in where it needs to go so that it all lines up nicely. Get my little hands lined up there. So there's that one, and then we'll just take this one and do the same thing. Looks like I bent that a little bit. Just try and get enough glue on there where it'll stay together. Okay. I'm sitting here thinking, is this video going to be too long to upload, or is it going to be worthy of uploading? Sometimes I do these and I'm like, oh, it's not good enough, and so then I won't upload them, but I never know. Okay, I kind of like the placement of that. And I think I've got, with the panel being raised and then having the die cut the way it is, I think what I'm going to do is I'll just glue it down and not use any foam tape. Now on the part that's going to lay on the acetate, I'm going to use tape, because that glue, if it runs, you'll see it. So I thought I would just put some tape on the part that I want on the acetate, and then I won't risk making a gluey, blobby mess that's going to show through there. So what I'm going to do is just take it and push it down where I have the tape on there. And then this one's going to go, I think it'll go like that. The hairline kind of, and I won't even, her hand is going to be in the acetate, but I don't think I'm going to even need glue for that. So I'll just glue it everywhere else. and just leave that one arm alone there, because I'm going to put it right up like this. And I think that'll look nice. I think it's kind of coming together. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just run a tape strip across there. Maybe I will put a little bit of glue just to make sure that it does stay down, but I also have that tape on there. So, and I'm going to run it just right along here like that and just kind of smooth that down. I probably need a little piece of foam for the back of that enchanted. So I'm just going to cut just a couple squares. I'm just going to cut it in half, and I'm going to tuck it up in there, because I'm afraid if I don't, it's going to bend and it's not going to look good. Now this card's not going to go in the mail because I'm going to a party, and I'll be taking this card to the party. So, I need 2 layers of that, I guess. So I'll just go ahead and lift that up, double that up underneath there. Easier said than done. And that way it won't bend on me. So I think that'll work out just fine. So far that looks really cute. Have an enchanted birthday. I think that looks cute. I feel like that, does that need to go up a little bit? I think it'll be all right. Okay, and then we have some of these other little pieces that we could add. So let's think about that. I'm going to, let's see. I've got right here, I've got a little spot that doesn't have any of the little embossed stars. I don't want to cover all those stars up. I mean, I did go through the process of embossing that so that I could have that embossed. So I'm going to lay that little shell there. I think that'd be pretty there. Just let that lay there. And then I don't want to get too carried away. I've got a little spot here where there's nothing, and I really like this teal starfish. So I think I'll lay that down there. And I think honestly, I think that'll be enough, because I've got plenty of stuff going on here, and I think it looks really cute. So I'm just gonna say that as the front of the card, and say that that's good enough, because you can get carried away and just have too much stuff. I mean, and maybe I do already, but I think that'll be cute. Now I have some stamps, and I have some die cuts too that has birthday wishes, love, believe in magic, different things like that I could use. And I might put this "You're mermazing" on the inside of it. I think that's what I'll do. So I'm just going to pull it out, and it just happens to be on the bottom, so that'll be easy to get at. And I'm just going to kind of pull that off, and that is going to go on the inside. Now I might have, a lot of times I'll have, yes I do, I will have a piece of my paper left that I cut away, and I do have it. So I'm going to, I think I'll run it along the bottom there. I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment in here, kind of top center. "You're mermazing." I'm going to try and straighten it up. Push it down. I'll put that in there. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of this and just glue it to the bottom. I like to have a little bit of the outside on the inside. And so I'll just make a little decorative border here. I'll line it up with the edge. Lay it down. And then I'll just cut off what's left from the back. Getting a little messy with my glue. And it says "You're mermazing." So I think that's cute. Now, since I have some of these things, I think I could probably add some on the inside and not be too bad. So I think what I'll do is I'll take this little starfish, lay it down on the inside, and maybe even put a blob of glue there. And I'm going to use this little seahorse because it's so cute. Put it in there. Okay, I think I'm going to stop at that. I mean, you could just get carried away, but I think that's cute. I think that's what I'll do. All right, so there's my card. I hope you like it. I've got a mess out on my desk. I've got some extra die cut pieces there. But I think that'll be fun for her card. Now, I could do something on the envelope, and I might do that. If I do, I'll just put it in the picture. That way we don't have to spend more time with that. But I could do something on the envelope to add to this. But I think it's cute, and it's kind of fun. And she'll know I made it. She crafts with me, and I think she'll enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on and making the card. If you do, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I welcome each and every one of you. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.